Tech companies lobbied away stricter rules on gas-powered data centers. Apple may open up the App Store to agentic AI. And Meta employees are protesting the company's mouse tracking program. It's Thursday, May 14th. And here's a quick look at some of the news happening in and around tech this morning from Engadget. A pollution watchdog has dropped a proposed ruling that could have cut CO2 emissions from data centers dozens of times faster than the current system. That's according to a report by the Financial Times. Following lobbying by tech industry groups, the Science Based Targets Initiative decided to not recommend a protocol that would have made it more difficult for tech companies to use clean energy investments to offset fossil fuel pollution. To capitalize on the AI boom, tech companies like Amazon and Meta have been building enormous data centers around the U.S. There's often not enough electricity produced locally to power those facilities, so firms have been installing controversial, highly polluting gas turbines to make up the difference. In order to avoid pollution charges, tech giants say they're offsetting fossil fuel generation with investments in wind, solar, and other forms of green power. They use certificates to offset those emissions, backed by net zero energy projects, even if those projects are located in other states or regions and generate the power at a different time. For instance, a fossil fuel-powered Texas data center running at night can offset CO2 pollution via certificates issued when solar energy is purchased during the day in California. However, the Greenhouse Gas Protocol oversight body, which is used by both Europe and California, said that both the fossil fuel power and offsetting green energy should be produced in the same market at around the same time. Now, that would help ensure accurate reporting and create a credible link between companies and their energy sources. Based on the research, SBTI proposed that tech companies use certificates that represent clean energy produced in the same time frame as the fossil fuel energy consumed. In response, companies with nearly $5 trillion in revenue, including Apple, Amazon, and GM, launched a lobbying effort called May, Not Shall, arguing that time and location-based energy rules be optional. Such rules were onerous and could discourage clean energy investments, they claimed. Google, by contrast, argued in favor of time-based or hourly clean energy matching. Multiple research groups, including Princeton University's Low Carbon Technology Consortium and the European Union, have argued that hourly energy offset accounting could cut CO2 emissions significantly quicker than the current system. Artificial intelligence has posed a multi-layered problem for Apple in recent years. A lot of folks are expecting to hear some big news at WWDC this year about how AI will be integrated into the company's gadgets, but there are still other wrinkles to be ironed out in its broader approach to the use of this influential technology. According to the information, one of those challenges is the recent interest and development of agentic AI. To date, Apple has not permitted vibe coding tools on the App Store because they would violate its policies. They could also potentially be used to create original apps for people who would have otherwise gotten software from the App Store, which could pose a threat to Apple's revenue, as well as creating a loophole for spreading malware or taking other malicious actions. But applying that same block more broadly to any agentic AI services, which can take active control over a device and its programs, could keep Apple out of the loop as those tools are generating a lot of interest among both developers and casual users. Apple is reportedly trying to maintain its control over the App Store while capitalizing on the current buzz around AI agents. It sounds like a high-wire act for a company that has been struggling to keep pace with AI's breakneck development. Add that to the long laundry list of information that many folks are curious to see addressed at next month's keynote. Shockingly, Meta employees are not too keen on training their robot replacements. Reuters reported that workers have begun circulating flyers at multiple U.S. offices to protest the company's installation of tracking software on their work computers. The pamphlets encourage employees to sign an online petition protesting Meta's employee surveillance program. The flyers and petition cite the U.S. National Labor Relations Act. It all stems from an announcement last month that Meta would install software on employees' computers to track their mouse movements, clicks, and keystrokes. The initiative, dubbed the Agent Transformation Accelerator, is designed to train AI agents to perform complex computing tasks. A company memo announcing the program read, "This is where all Meta employees can help our models get better simply by doing their daily work. If we're building agents to help people complete everyday tasks using computers, our models need real examples of how people actually use them. Things like mouse movements, clicking buttons, and navigating drop-down menus." The company tried to reassure its workers that sensitive information would be protected, claiming their data would be tightly controlled. Employee reactions were less enthusiastic, with some asking, "How do we opt out?" CTO Andrew Bosworth confirmed that they in fact cannot opt out. It's hard to imagine workers warming to the move regardless of context, but the fact that this is coinciding with a 10% reduction of the company's workforce makes for an even more ominous backdrop. One employee reportedly commented that the program was incredibly demoralizing. Another told Bosworth, "Your callousness to the concerns of your own employees is concerning." As for how many more workers will lose their jobs, Meta is still working on that. CFO Susan Lee told investors in April, "We don't really know what the optimal size of the company will be in the future. I think there's a lot of change right now with AI capabilities advancing rapidly." Thanks for listening. There's more tech news at Engadget.com. This episode featured journalism from Steve Dent, Anna Washenko, and Will Shakelin. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more tech news from Engadget.